Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to my free importation class. Last week we talked about why you should import from China, and this week we are coming to talk about the payment system in China. If you are already into importation from China, then you already know that one of the biggest challenge of importing from China is you cannot pay Chinese suppliers in any currency apart from Chinese renminbi or yuan. And due to this, several people always lose a lot of money because of this payment system. Several people who are not in China have difficulty in paying these Chinese suppliers. So in today, we are coming to talk about how to pay Chinese suppliers if you are not in China, as I am in China. So in China, one of the most used app is WeChat and Alipay. WeChat and Alipay. So if you are outside China, then it means if you want to pay Chinese suppliers, then you need to get these apps. So one of the most important apps you need is WeChat and Alipay. WeChat and Alipay. Why must you get these apps? Because one, if you have Alipay, you can link your MasterCard or Visa card to these apps. Then through that, you can pay Chinese suppliers directly from your MasterCard or your Visa card. That is for Alipay. And two, WeChat. Why must you get WeChat? In China, we use WeChat for anything, and it is the most used app in China. So every Chinese supplier has got a WeChat account. So why must you really get WeChat? One, every Chinese supplier uses WeChat. Two, you can use the WeChat app to pay Chinese suppliers. Through WeChat, if you have WeChat, you can pay Chinese suppliers on all Chinese e-commerce app. We have Taobao, Pinduoduo, 1688, made in China. Every Chinese e-commerce app, you can pay your Chinese suppliers using WeChat. And also three, you can negotiate with suppliers. The reality is, if you mostly buy items on any of the e-commerce app, if you are able to add a supplier, you can negotiate with the supplier and have the products bought at a very cheaper price. People don't know this. So for example, this app called 1688. Next week, I'll be sharing screens to show you these apps that I'm talking about. Yeah. So on 1688 is the app where you can buy wholesale products from China. It's the only app you can buy wholesale products from China. And on this app, if you are able to add the direct contact of the supplier, you can negotiate with the supplier and you will buy the product at a cheaper cost as compared to buying on the e-commerce app. That is one of the benefits of having a WeChat account. Now, there are so many ways people who are already into importation does. One, so many people who are into importation get agents who help them to pay Chinese suppliers. After them negotiating with the supplier manufacturer, then they ask the supplier, the agent to help them pay the supplier. If you use agent in importing from China, then you will be losing a lot of money. So you need to get your WeChat or Alipay account. WeChat or Alipay account. Yeah. So in using WeChat or Alipay, you avoid so much agents. You avoid so many agents. Another way where people who are outside China does is to get these uh, agents. And before you even get this currency, how do you get Chinese renminbi, Chinese yuan to pay Chinese suppliers? Now, there are so many ways where you can get Chinese yuan or Chinese renminbi to pay Chinese suppliers. One, which most of you are mostly use, those who are already into importation, is getting agent in your own country who sells RMB. Listen, if you get an agent in your own country who sells RMB, then it means you are losing a lot of money. Why do I say so? It means that any person who is not in China, like I am in China, gets RMB from us in China. So it means if they are doing RMB exchange, they get RMB from us, meaning you'll be paying extra charges to get RMB Chinese currency to pay Chinese suppliers. So, one, if you want to reduce losing money in importing, then one, the best is getting your own Alipay or WeChat account. How can you get your WeChat or Alipay account? It's very simple. You can download on the Google App Store or your Android Play Store. You can download these apps from these sites, and after downloading them, you can install your MasterCard. How do you install your MasterCard? It's very unfortunate today I'm unable to share screens to share you how you can add your MasterCard, but just download the app. You need to get a valid passport. If you are not in China, you need to get a valid traveling passport. Your passport have to be valid before you can add your MasterCard or Visa card or credit card to your Alipay or WeChat account. Those who are watching live, welcome. And today we are talking about how to pay Chinese suppliers if you are outside China. If you have any question, you can comment in the comment section, and you can also join to ask any question in terms of importing from China through the link shared in the comment section. That is importing from China. So you need to get a valid traveling passport. So with this valid traveling passport, it's very easy. After creating your WeChat or Alipay account, you just enter Tor Pass, Tor card, which I'll be sharing screen. I have already made video already about how to add your WeChat or Alipay account to pay Chinese suppliers. Yes, that is one way of paying Chinese suppliers. But with that, if you are adding your MasterCard, there's restriction. With that, you can only pay Chinese supplier within 30 days. It's only 30 days that you can use that account. And that one, you have to reactivate it. And the another restriction of having a WeChat or Alipay account without a Chinese bank card is you have limit. You cannot pay even more than 50,000 or so within a day. So that means I have several customers who make a lot of orders. So that means that is very, very, very little for you. You cannot buy all your things at a go, because if you are buying some machines which are very expensive, that MasterCard or Visa card cannot help you. So therefore, there should be another alternative. Another alternative is getting what? RMB from other people. And as I've already said, if you want to get RMB Chinese currency, get someone in China. Get someone in China who is staying in China, and that person can get you RMB at a cheaper rate instead of buying from agents in your own country like Ghana, Cameroon, and other countries. So that is why I have come out with RMB exchange. So there are so many people living in China, working in China, and they are from your own country. I am from Ghana. So it is very easy for me to what? Exchange the money, because sometimes I want to send money to my family, to friends or people in Ghana. So therefore, if somebody needs CDs, I just let the person send the CDs to my family. Then I send the RMB to that person to pay Chinese supplier. So if you are from Nigeria, I have legit Nigerians in China. I have several friends from almost all the countries, especially in African countries, who can help you get Chinese RMB at a cheaper rate. So if you need RMB in this form, you can just comment in the comment section, add me or text me about that. I'll add you to the week free importation class WhatsApp group or Telegram group, where if you are from Nigeria, I can get you the contact, direct contact of Nigerians living in China, Nigerians working in China, and they will get you RMB at a very good rate. If it's from Cameroon, any country you can think of, that is the best way, is to get somebody in China, somebody working in China or living in China, and they will get you your currency instead of using an agent. Apart from this, these are the best ways to reduce losing money when importing from China. Apart from that, you can still go on with agents if you have trust issue or whatever. You can still go on with agents in your own country. They are also helpful. Yeah, agents who will help you get these Chinese renminbi or Chinese yuan to pay Chinese suppliers. So that is the most important thing if you want to pay Chinese suppliers. One, get your own payment system, or two, get somebody in China who will help you pay Chinese suppliers, and three, get somebody who is in your country who does RMB exchange, which you'll be paying at a very high rate. Another way you can pay Chinese suppliers is using Western Union. With Western Union, you can now pay Chinese suppliers. But the restriction with Western Union is you need to get somebody in China who will help you pay this, receive your money. After you have sent the money to the person in China, the person have to call the Western Union, confirm confirm his details before the money can be received. With using Western Union, there is no charges. There is no charges when you send money to somebody in China using Western Union. Previously, the biggest restriction using Western Union was that with Western Union, you we those in China cannot receive it online. We had to go to the bank before we can receive the money after you have sent. And that was a very, very big challenge. But now the good news is once you send money to anybody in China using Western Union, the person does not need to go to the bank. The person can confirm everything and receive the money on his phone. And there's no charges with that. So you can get somebody in China you really trust. Then you will send the money to the person in China through Western Union, and the person will receive the money. There is no charges using Western Union to send money to somebody in China. That is the payment system using Western Union. Another way you can pay Chinese suppliers is using PayPal or wise transfer. Yeah, hello, Mary Ann is here. Yeah, hello. So another way of paying Chinese suppliers is using PayPal or wise transfer. With PayPal is the fastest and easiest of paying Chinese suppliers, but there's still challenges. PayPal has the highest charges. If you want to transfer money using PayPal, you will pay a lot of charges, which is not advisable, especially if you are in Africa. I have so many people in the US, in European countries. For them, it makes sense. The charges is nothing. For example, if they are to pay $1 for sending the money to somebody in China, that is nothing. But if you are in Ghana, $1 is almost 14 Ghana cedis. That is a lot of money. So depending on your location, it's not advisable to use PayPal. Depending on your location, it's not advisable to use PayPal. So if you're in Africa, I would advise you don't use PayPal to pay Chinese suppliers. But my friends, those who are in the US, it's best you can use PayPal. With PayPal, you can now send money directly from your PayPal to your supplier's bank account with PayPal. You can send money directly from your bank account to a Chinese supplier's bank account. So therefore, how do you do this? You have to get the details of the Chinese supplier, the person's bank account and everything before you can send from your MasterCard, Visa card directly to the Chinese suppliers. Now, what is the challenge with PayPal? You know, if you don't understand Chinese people always want simple and easy method. They always find it difficult you asking their bank details, ah, informations, their location before you can pay them. So most suppliers might not accept you paying them using PayPal. Most Chinese suppliers might not accept you paying them using PayPal. So that is a restriction because they just want easy way. Just pay them using WeChat or Alipay and they are done. No more processing, going to bank and all those things. So that is it. However, there are some suppliers which will accept PayPal. Through PayPal, you can pay Chinese suppliers. So you have to communicate with the supplier. Once the supplier is okay with PayPal, you can pay them. Another method of paying Chinese suppliers is using Wise Money Transfer. Wise Money Transfer. If you don't know Wise Money Transfer, it's an international platform where you can use that to send money to people in almost all the countries in the world. Wise is an app I got to know of last year and I was like, damn, there's an app like this. Wise is so useful and very fast and very convenient. Me, I prefer Wise to PayPal because the charges in Wise is more lower as compared to PayPal. However, the restriction with Wise is some countries do not are not allowed to use Wise. And another way is with Wise, you can pay Chinese suppliers directly from your bank card to the Chinese supplier's bank account. So with Wise, you can do that, and the charges is lower as compared to PayPal. It's very unfortunate, my friends who are in Africa, mostly in African countries. Not all countries can use Wise. In Morocco, if you're in Morocco, those North America, Africa, that side, most of them they are allowed to use Wise, but in some countries, it's not Nigeria. You can't use Wise. That is the restriction using Wise. But the charges with Wise is so cheaper and very fast and so convenient. Yeah, that is using Wise. So, lovely people, this is how you can pay Chinese suppliers using these several methods I have mentioned. I know there are several websites online where you can get Chinese RMB to pay them, but I've told you the best way to pay Chinese suppliers is having your own WeChat or Alipay account where you have linked your passport to the account, then you can pay Chinese suppliers. The restriction is if you are making a big order, a lot of orders, you cannot use that because you have a maximum about 50,000 a day, which might be less for you if you are into a big business. Another way is to get somebody in China. There are several people working in China, people from your country working in China who always want to send money to your country. So what you have to just do is to get these people, exchange the money with them at a very good rate instead of buying them from people in your own country. The biggest challenge is how do you get people from your country working in China? That is why this platform is here for you. If I'm from any country and you need anybody working in China, I will make sure that I get a legit and right person in China who will not scam you, who will not take your money away so that you can swap your money with that individual. So basically, this is all about payment system in China. I am talking about this payment system because I see a lot of importers losing a lot of money because they do not have their personal payment system, or they do not have somebody in China who will help them pay their suppliers. So that is the payment system in importing from China. In importing from China, I don't know if you have any question in terms of paying Chinese suppliers. You can comment in the comment section, or you can join this live through this link to ask any question that is bothering you in terms of importing from China. I have already made a video talking about how to link your MasterCard, Visa card to your Alipay or WeChat account. So you can check my previous videos to see how you can do that. If you have any challenge in registering your connecting your Visa card to your Alipay or WeChat, comment in the comment section, or you can add me in my group, then I will help you. We have somebody watching live. He said, I need an RMB exchanger with Naira at lower rates. I don't get it. Do you mean you are in Nigeria and you need somebody in China, right? Yeah, yeah. So I'm sure if I understand you well, you are in Nigeria and you need somebody in China. So after this live, you can add me on Instagram. I'll add you to the WeChat group. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. So I got it now. So you can add me on Instagram at that group. Then I will add you to my WhatsApp group. I'll give you a direct contact of somebody in China. They have several Nigerians, and some of them are also even YouTubers. I'll give you their direct contact and on WeChat or WhatsApp, and they will help you exchange RMB at a very good rate as compared to you buying it from somebody in Nigeria. That is it. Yeah. Um so basically that is all about payment system, getting RMB in paying Chinese suppliers. So all of you welcome. If you are new here, my name is Dax. I've lived in China for 6 good years now. I'm into importation from China, and if you need anything about importing from China, let me know. Now I've made it sure that every week I'll be having live on right now is 5:26 a.m. China time. Every Sunday morning. That is it should be Saturday in most African countries. Yeah, every Sunday morning I'll be having at least a 30 minutes live to teach you about importation from China. And currently, I have an ongoing free importation class, which I am talking about. Last week, we talked about why you should import from China. And this week, we are talking about the payment system, how to pay Chinese suppliers, and how to get RMB to pay Chinese suppliers. I am teaching this because it affects the poor person, especially if you are from Ghana or Africa, because importers pay a lot of money in getting RMB, and therefore, if they import the goods to the country, they have to add a lot of money to make profit. So it means the poor person is always paying all these taxes, all the money they are losing through RMB exchange, which is not their fault. It's all about the fault of people who import and do not have the knowledge. Get RMB from somebody in China, or get your own passport, connect to your Alipay or WeChat so that you avoid losing a lot of money. I got crazy seeing the rate people sell RMB to several people. I just don't like to see that. So that is about the payment system in terms of importing from China. Now, next week, we will be going deep, practical, where I'll be sharing my screen to teach you, to show you how to use these e-commerce apps. If you are already into importation from China, then it means you need to get some apps where you can be buying things from. You can be buying things from. The days of getting a visa, traveling to China to get supplies to import goods is over. These days, after COVID, every system have been built very well that you can be in your own country, get right suppliers, buy your products, ship from China to your own country. So next week, we'll be going deep practically where I'll be sharing my screen to show you how to import from several apps. If you are outside China, you should know this. There are two types of Chinese e-commerce app. We have the Chinese language e-commerce app and we have the English language e-commerce app. Most of the Chinese e-commerce app are used by native Chinese in China here, and the English apps are used by for people outside China. So, for example, Alibaba, made in China. These apps, they are for people outside China. And we have Chinese e-commerce app, which is used by native Chinese. So we have Pinduoduo, we have 1688, we have Taobao, we have Jingdong, several of them. These are the major ones. So if you are importing from China, it's best to use Chinese e-commerce app. Apps used by native Chinese here in China. Why do I say so? If you buy things using Alibaba made in China, then it means it's very expensive. The product is more expensive as compared to using Chinese e-commerce app. What is Mary saying? What if you get the products that is different from what you ordered? Don't you think seeing the products is is better? Oh yeah. Yes, that is really true. That is one major thing of importing from China. So that's why we have this class ongoing, where I'll be teaching you how to avoid scam. There are several people who have been scammed before. Even I am in China, but I have been scammed before. You will not believe this. So um we'll talk about that. I call that product testing. Product testing. Several people who are outside China, they just buy their things from the supplier, then send to their logistics to ship it to their country without seeing. So what I always advise people who import from China is, if it's your first time buying from a supplier, what you have to do is get somebody in China. Just buy only one or two of the product. Get somebody in China to confirm the product. Check the quality of the product. For example, these are phones. These are phones from one somebody that I was just checking them. I forgot. There are several of these kind of phones that I hope he's not watching. Yeah, that is not even an issue. So he bought these phones. He want to buy several of these phones to his country. Yeah. So he has bought only 4 or 5 of the phones for me to check the phone, how quality the phones are, and everything, how genuine the phones are. So after I check everything, I see that they are very good before he buys large quantities. And even mostly, he always makes sure I check every phone to make sure that there's no fault in the phone before we ship it out of China. This way, you don't lose money. But there are so many people, they don't do this. They just buy from the app. Oh, it's very cheap. It's very cheap. And they buy to their country. But if it arrives in your country and there's fault in the phone, you cannot return the phone back, meaning you have run at a very big loss because it requires a lot of money to ship to your country. So that is product testing. If you want to import from China, you have to always do product testing. Get somebody in China to check the product before you ship. Um, because we are not talking much about it, this is just a summary of that. I want to make sure that by the end of this free importation class, everybody can import from China yourself fully. So gradually we'll reach there where I'll be talking about this into detail. Today we are just talking about payment system, how to pay your Chinese suppliers. Avoid losing a lot of money, black market or whatever. Get somebody in China directly or link your Visa card or MasterCard to pay your Chinese suppliers. So today, this is all about the payment system. And next week, I'll be talking about where to get the right supplier. Before coming to China, I always knew Chinese products are fake and not quality. After coming to China over 6 years, I've learned that it's not really so. It's just because you don't have the knowledge of where to get the right product. In China, they make sure they certify the needs of every person, the rich and the poor. So in China, you can get about 10 suppliers, manufacturers making this mouse, 10 suppliers making this mouse, and the design, everything will be the same, but the difference is based on quality and cost. So you get a supplier who is making this at $10, another supplier making this same product at $1. And what is it? Most people, especially from my country, Ghana, buy cheaper products because that's what people want. People want something cheaper. So they just buy very cheap products. And very cheap is mostly low quality. You should know that. So therefore, products in Africa, especially Ghana, we think Chinese products are fake. It's not fake. It's all about where importers get their products from. I always advise people, if you're importing from China, make sure you sell quality products. Don't focus on the cost, cheaper products. Get quality products, and trust me, that will grow your business than getting very cheap and low quality. I'm not saying that very cheap products are not quality. That is never true. Sometimes some products are just expensive, but the quality is not different from buying a cheaper product. Yeah. So that is it. That is the trick there. So by the end of this importation class, you will learn all these tricks and where to get the right supplier. So it's already 30 minutes, and this is where time will permit me to be ending today's live. Oh, Jeremiah is saying, kindly help me with my WeChat verification. Okay, with WeChat verification, yes, sure. Somebody, is it Teresa, contacted me about WeChat verification. Yes, I even forgot about that. Now, if you want to create a WeChat account, you need WeChat verification. If you are not in China and you want to create a WeChat account, then it means you need to get somebody in China to verify that account before you can use your WeChat account. Why do you need somebody in China to verify? WeChat is making sure that they will not get scammers, people who will scam others, especially people who are outside China. They try to scam people using WeChat. So, in order to avoid this, that is why there's verification code. So, if I verify your account, then it means that through me, I have verified your account. And if there's any challenge, they can track me in China so easily. And if anything, I'll be responsible, or so that I get the person outside China and those things. So that is why I'm always mindful of the people I verify. But that is not a problem. I know you are legit. And with verification, it can only be done in a short period of time. So many people always want me to verify their account, but they will not confirm to see whether I am online available to verify the account. They just send me the code, please help me. By the time I see the message, the code has expired long time. So if you want me to verify, make sure that you get me online, whether on WhatsApp or Instagram. I tell you, okay, I'm free now. I can verify your account before you start the process of registration to verify your account. So yeah, Mr. Jeremiah, I can help you with the verification. Just contact me this morning. I'm free after this live, and I'll help you verify your WeChat account. Yeah, that is WeChat. I almost forgot about that. So if you want to create your WeChat account outside China, you need verification. You need somebody in China to help you verify your account. So hello, lovely people. Thank you very much for staying tuned, watching live. And my name is Dax from Ghana, currently in China. And if you need anything about importation from China, I am here to help you. I am here to guide you in terms of importing from China. Today we talked about how to pay Chinese suppliers. Next week we will be talking about how you can get the right supplier. How you can get the right supplier. He said, Mr. Jeff is saying, what about Alipay if you don't have a passport? If you don't have, meaning you cannot create Alipay. It's unfortunate. Yeah, with the tour card. There's another way you can do that is getting somebody in China getting you a bank card to link it to and getting an Alipay. For example, I have some of my relatives, they are not in China, but they are able to use Alipay and WeChat because I have given my details, my bank card to them to link and their number to link, and they can always make order directly and everything. So you need to get somebody. I cannot give my card to everybody, you know. So you need to get somebody in China you trust, or the person who also trusts you to give you their bank card. You can link it to your Alipay or WeChat to be making payment. But if you don't have passport, try the process. Register now. I think most African countries is very difficult to get within a short time. But try your best to get your own passport to link that to get your Alipay account in terms of payment, in terms of paying your Chinese suppliers. That is the best advice I can give you. Yeah. Yeah. So this is where time will permit us. I don't know if you want to join this live to ask any question. I like videos so much. I don't like pre-recorded videos, editing videos, and I want the reality, the reality. If you are making video pre-recorded editing, sometimes you have to just make it short and this, but with live I can get one-on-one interaction. I can know your biggest challenge. With time we'll be trying how you be ordering, how to change address and everything, so that you understand it very well. If there's no question, then this is where time will permit us to end today's live. This is I have three YouTube channels. I have one Dark Spam, that is my main channel. It is about lifestyle in China, a channel that teaches people about the culture, lifestyle in China, daily life in China. Those who are importing from China, it's very important to know the mindset of Chinese, how they react, suppliers, how to talk to them, and everything, which we'll be learning in upcoming classes. And I have second channel, which is Side Hustle with Dax. That is a channel mainly about importing from China. So if you want to learn most of the things, how to import from China, you can check that channel out. That's Side Hustle with Dax. And I have another channel which is Campus Life in China. This channel is all about scholarships in China. If you want to study in China, then if you want to study in China, there's free scholarship. Every year, Chinese government provide about 50,000 scholarships for international students. Yeah, and you can apply for this scholarship yourself. You don't need any agent. Once you have the document and everything, you can apply yourself. So on that channel, I teach about how to apply for scholarships to China. If you are studying in China, master's, PhD, you can be paid every month allowance. You get allowance about 3,500 RMB, which is about $500. Mr. Jeff is saying, I think for start, we just learning from Alibaba. That's easy for beginners. Oh, yes. With Alibaba, that is true because it is in English language. Yes, it is very easy. However, you are losing a lot of money. That is the truth. Because Alibaba is an international app, and Chinese supplier who join that app have to pay a lot of money. So the product you get on Alibaba is more expensive as compared to buying from Chinese e-commerce apps used by native in China. I don't know if you get it. The things are made in China, so they are cheaper in China. But if they are selling outside, it's more expensive. And another challenge with Alibaba is The shipping fee using Alibaba is very expensive. It's very expensive. If you buy things from Alibaba, if you check the shipping fee, it's mostly almost more than the actual price of the product. But if you get shipping logistics in China, they are more cheaper. They are more cheaper. So the best is to buy products from apps, Chinese e-commerce app used by native Chinese in China. That way the product will be very cheap. Now, after buying that, how do you ship to your country? You need to get logistics who are specialized in shipping to your country, and they will ship it to your country at a very cheaper rate as compared to Alibaba. Yeah, that is the reality about using Alibaba. Yeah. So that is it. So for me, I would not advise you to order things from Alibaba. I would not advise you to order things from Alibaba. Buy things from apps used by native Chinese in China. However, you can also continue with Alibaba just to understand the process of importing from China. But you don't have to worry. That is why we have this free importation class every week, Sunday China time, this morning around 5 a.m. That will be about 10 p.m. in different countries in Ghana, in Nigeria, and all those countries. And we will be talking about everything about importing from China. He said, what is Chris saying? But right now, shipping is expensive from China because of Gaza war. Oh yeah, that is very true. That has really affected shipping fees. But you should know that even if you are using shipping logistics, it will still be cheaper as compared to Alibaba. That means on Alibaba they have to also increase their shipping fees. So it's almost the same. It's almost the same, and it's very unfortunate. It's really very unfortunate that now shipping fees are very expensive. It's really true because of this Gaza war. That is why I really encourage us to produce most of the products in Africa, especially in our countries. The biggest challenge why most of us are unable to start producing in our country is the machines, how to buy machines like mechanized machines from China or other countries to our country. It's mostly expensive. Heavy duty products. If you buy heavy duty product from China to Ghana, sometimes the taxes, duties is very high. You see, so it's not easy. And the production, for example, in Ghana, electricity is very expensive. So production is very expensive in Ghana or Africa. So in the future, I'll be having several business ideas and machines where you can buy from China so cheap, so affordable, where you can buy second-hand machines used in China, which can be very good in starting your own business. I really encourage we having made in Africa products, even though I'm into importation, but I don't really support that. If we are able to have made in Ghana product, made in Kenya production in Africa, trust me, we will create employment and so many things. Yeah, in our countries. Mr. Jeremiah is asking which e-commerce shops are within China. So next week, if you join this live, you'll be learning all these e-commerce apps. We have Alibaba, Pinduoduo. Alibaba is English. Pinduoduo, Taobao, 1688, and so many. There are so many. They are uncountable. So next week, that is what we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about the e-commerce apps used in China and how to get the right supplier. So with time, I'll be talking in detail where I'll be sharing screen after you have created those apps, how to buy, how to talk to suppliers and everything. I'll be talking about all those things. So stay tuned for upcoming class. And I've already made several videos on my channel about that. So you can also check in my previous videos of where to of these e-commerce shops and apps you can think of. Mr. Jeremiah said, and Is it possible for me to register and buy stuff from the same China native apps? Of course, it's possible. That is why we have this importation class. That is why we have this importation class. You can join this live through the link. I've shared the link here. You can join this live through the link through audio session where we can have talk one-on-one talk concerning any question about importing from China instead of typing so much, or yeah, if it's convenient for you. Yeah, so is it possible for me to register and buy stuff from those same China native shops? Yes, of course, it's very possible. That is why we have this class to teach you how to go about it and everything. So stay tuned for that. And Mr. Jeff is asking, what about made in China size HTKDC? Oh, sure. I've already said it. I said these apps, these websites, they are all good, but they all have challenges. Each of the apps have their own challenges, and we'll be talking in detail about these apps, the one to use, and where to get cheaper. Sometimes, even before I make an order or something, if I'm not going directly to shops or going to the factory, I compare on the website. Sometimes some product, the same product will be cheaper on one app and expensive in another app. Yeah, that is the trick. And in the future, I'll be explaining why it is so. So these are all the tricks in importing from China, which you should know. So yeah, made in China, yeah, you can also buy from there, but it's also an English app, I think. Yeah, it's in English, and with that, you should know you are paying higher. Yeah. So if there's no question, thank you very much for staying tuned for today's live, and stay tuned for next week importation class where we'll be talking about where to get the right supplier. Even if you are not in China, you don't need to come to China. And thank you very much for staying tuned. My name is Dax, and see you next time, next week, where we'll be going deep about importing from China. Thank you all. Share ni man, Fei Chang and share ni man. Share to Jamie. Bye.